Have you ever read or listened to an analysis of a market and thought, so what? Most market analysis tells us nothing that we didn't know already. And most market analyses don't help us to decide on our strategy. Now, this isn't because we don't have enough data, it's because we don't use the data in the right way. And by the end of this 5-minute seminar, you will understand why that is and how to make your market analyses more useful. It's strange, isn't it, when someone you think you know surprises you by saying something out of character. Darwin, who's usually calm and measured, once sounded surprisingly irritated. He was frustrated by people who just collected data instead of using it to test their ideas. In today's terms, he was calling for more deductive logic. I get what Darwin means. In my work helping marketing teams, I often see these massive slide decks of sliced and diced market data. But when I ask the presenter the obvious question, what does this analysis tell us that was new and useful, I sometimes get blank looks. Mostly, market analyses tell us what we already know and what our competitors already know. As one CEO I spoke to put it, this presentation is completely insight-free. And if your analysis doesn't reveal something new, then it's not a very good basis for strategy. It's just noise. Insight-free brand plans are the result of not using deductive logic. It's like building a haystack of data won't help you to find the needle of insight inside it. And insight means knowing something useful that your competitors don't. Darwin's method for doing this was deductive logic. Start with a hypothesis and then test it against the evidence. The question is, how do you do this in practice? What the best analysts do is use something called the problematization approach, which has 4 steps. First, use the data to describe what you see. For example, use market share data to show customer preferences. Then, use the data to compare different cases. For example, comparing the preferences of one market segment to the preferences of another. Then, you propose some explanations for what you see. For example, is it price, efficacy, trust in the brand, or something else that is causing those differences in preference? Then you look at which explanation best fits the data, and that explanation is your insight. So here's the lesson. Slicing and dicing the same data that everyone else has in the same way that everyone else does doesn't give you insight. It doesn't tell you something useful that no one else knows. What does create insight is having the courage to take a view. You look at the unexplained variations in your data and you suggest possible explanations. Then you test those explanations against your data and use your best explanation to drive your strategy. That's how Darwin did it, and that's how the best brand teams do it. That's how your team can do it, starting today. So if your market analysis isn't as useful as it should be, let's talk about it. As well as being an academic and an author, I help pharma and medtech strategists evolve their strategic capabilities. I do this by using insight from my research into the Darwinian evolution of our industry and my 4 decades of practical experience as a scientist and strategist in the industry. If our industry matters to you, then subscribe, share and explore my work. My website has a free library of over 400 articles and papers. My YouTube channel has over 100 videos. Or best of all, let's have a cup of tea and chat about how my research can help you.